Oh, I'm in there. All right, hold on. Let me lift the chair up a little bit. Much better, much better, much better. Hey, look, while I got this little time, uh, my supervisor and them had went to run to Home Depot. So I figured, why not go ahead and record a video since I am clearly busy. I got 119 of these pieces to do right here. You see what I got going on? I'm gonna be working on this in the background. And every so often, I'm gonna chime in to give my opinion. I was gonna watch this anyway. It's been in my watch later list, but I'm starting to feel like I'm building a relationship with you. Thank you for joining the show. If you got some friends that you just, you know what I'm saying, that you deal with or whatever, you want them to enjoy some quality entertainment from yours truly, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you sharing the content. And I appreciate you going ahead to tap in. I'm gonna try to include the link in some of the descriptions below, but let's be honest, I'm very forgetful, borderline lazy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always working. It's crazy, man. I literally work about 2 miles away from my house, maybe three. But I get my ass up every day and I try to make something happen. Hey, look, we're gonna go ahead and jump to the video because I don't have much time. I don't know this guy. Like I really don't. There's maybe a short window in a different universe that we probably would have met. But yeah, I don't know him. I don't. So I can't vouch for his information just based on looking at him. I don't know his background. I don't know his expertise. But I value objective opinion. I value knowledge in general. As a matter of fact, people that have a lot more knowledge than you, I think that you should sit down and listen. If I'm a millionaire and I'm in a room with a billionaire, of course I'm gonna be humble. I'm gonna sit down and I'm listening. He's clearly got more age than me, which with age comes wisdom in most cases. If you're a product of your environment, let's say the west side of Atlanta, then maybe not. Maybe you're trapped in a perpetual momentum of mediocrity. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'm mediocre. Who knows? I'm from the east side. We don't never mention the east. But that's neither here nor there. This one is, I think, about the Venezuelan migrants coming to take over your shit or whatever. I've been telling y'all for months that the street was finna get bloody, but I want to hear from his opinion. So, without further ado, we're already 3 minutes into this, and I'm already wasting your time. So let's get it.
Apathy. Okay. I mean, as the American people just don't seem to care enough to take their country back from communism, from crime, from illegal migration.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm serious about this revolution shit. Look at my shit. You already know. I'm already in it. So when it comes down to it, yeah, you know, you're damn right I'm gonna be one of the fighters. Right? What do we got to lose? Not a goddamn thing.
And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
We already get
If it's the old NIMBY principle, not in my backyard. If it ain't right in your front yard, your backyard, your neighborhood, or whatever, people don't care. They may talk about it on Twitter or whatever it is, but they don't. It's not happening to me. So we stick our heads in the sand, and there just isn't enough fight. You know, I mean, remember Trump, fight, 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 right? There isn't enough. We aren't raising hell enough yet. Now, we talked about the stories of the Hells Angels, the Outlaws, who knows if the Mongols get involved, whatever.
That was some bullshit ass story. It was true at first. Okay? But what happened was these guys looked it up on Google. They looked up their reviews on the internet, the Snapchats and the web shit, so that they can actually see what they were going to fight for. Guess what? Aurora's a fucking dump. That whole apartment community over there is a fucking dump. The street that I stay not too far away of Lowell Street, the apartments that they took over and the ones they're taking over in New York, they're condemned. It's a fucking dump. The property manager need to go to prison. That place is trash. You're not fighting for anything. Let them have that shit. Get out these folk business. Let them have that shit. If you want to do something, man, bomb the motherfucker. That's right. Don't go in there. Don't make the streets no more bloodier than it is. Bomb that motherfucker. The same way you bombed Black Wall Street. The same way you bombed and set fire to the cities that the free slaves escaped to. They escaped to in Chicago. Think about that shit the next time you look at Central Park in New York. All that shit was a whole black block. Man, the race riots were 19, whatever the fuck, something 9, it happened, and they burned them shits down and created a park right over it. Same thing with Lake Lanier, created a fucking lake over there for that. What?
Any of these other groups. Okay, they're willing to fight. I'll give you this. Most of us don't have hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of friends that we would be a viable force. But we need to collectively get together to do something. We saw all these stories in Aurora, Colorado, that at least the mayor is now acknowledging. The governor is still sitting on his hands. But what if that happened in your backyard? What if that happened in your town, your city? What are you going to do? Don't think it won't happen. Now let me ask you this.
Because it will. Homeland Security just came to my apartment not too long ago and took about 10 of them out. I know it was at least... Anyway, it's got to be at least 3 more left. You get what I'm saying? One of them was outside my apartment on the phone early in the morning, just sitting there talking, running his fucking mouth. Yasura, 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 yabura, yabura, yabura. Oh, type shit. He had to be like 17, 18. He was holding a bicycle. You get what I'm saying? I looked outside, I went out there and said, hey, homeboy, no tingo hombre. My Spanish ain't good, but don't be doing that shit in front of my spot, bro. He looked at me and he was just like, my bad, okay. But when I got home from work, they be standing up there by the trash cans or whatever, smoking de la mota way. You know what I'm saying? And I don't go up there to that side of the apartment, you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going to pay my rent or check out the mail or whatever. But yeah, they be up there just on the block, cussing, fussing. They got knives, finna stab each other, fighting, drinking and shit. Then when they leave, it's fucking Modelo's all over the place, empty beer bottles and shit. Get them the fuck out of here. So after the Homeland Security had left, man, that whole block empty. The car's gone too. They just got they preteen ass wives and their teenage ass girls that they here with dropping anchor babies. Don't know how they gonna pay their rent. Let's get back to the video before I start getting fucking upset.
If somebody came up to you and said, where is the most dangerous place in the United States? Where would you not walk at night? Okay. And you might say, I don't know.
It ain't nowhere that I'm not gonna walk. I can't walk. You know what I'm saying? I've landed in everywhere. That's what made me so dangerous. You never know where I'm coming from.
Washington, D.C. That'd be a dangerous place. You might say parts of St. Louis. Yeah, that would be. You might say the south side of Chicago.
Matt, quit stopping the video. I'm gonna tell you something about Washington, D.C. If you do your research and your history and all your whatever that shit is that you look up on the internet, all that Google shit, you will find that most of the psychopaths in the country live in Washington fucking D.C. All of the politicians that have ever had power are fucking psychopaths. They love that shit.
At least I would. Okay. I want to give you this. Everything that happened in Aurora is happening on the south side of Chicago. That you have violent Venezuelan migrant gangs taking over apartment complexes. On the south side of Chicago, where a couple of dozen people get shot and killed every weekend. And they don't.
I wish you would have added some context to that. In the south side of Chicago, it's primarily a melanated area. The people that are shot and killed every weekend are shot and killed by their own people. That's why the Venezuelan gangs are moving in and taking over. Because if you don't care about you, who the fuck is going to care about you? Nobody. Who's going to come and answer that police call when the police in your city have been defunded and shit? Fucking nobody. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about your community. You won't do nothing to stand up for your community. So they're going in there and they taking that shit. You selling dope out there? Scratch that. They're robbing you, taking your dope, and they're killing you.
Care because they're armed, they're
Because you do
organized,
it to yourself.
and they'll just take out anybody that stands in their way. You don't believe me? Listen to this. This is a 911 dispatcher, and listen to it carefully.
Unit 3, City West, person with a gun, 6124 South King Drive, color says 32 Venezuelans are trespassing the building, showing guns in the courtyard, and they have motorcycles in the courtyard as well. All stairwells are filled. Nothing further is unclear. Yeah, I'm sorry, you headed over to the shop better or to the 6124 on King for the migrants?
On King Drive.
Alright, 10-4. There's another available unit to arrive at 310. We had multiple calls. First with the gun, 6124 South King. Also came over to disturbance large gathering. Could be 32 Venezuelans trespassing in the building property, showing guns in the courtyard. They have motorcycles in the courtway, all stairwells filled. And nothing further.
So in Chicago, they have been conditioned to call any violent group of people a large gathering. Thank you, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Fucking idiot. The guy spent $34,000 on a haircut.
Now, if you listened closely enough, you heard her say armed migrants, gangs taking over an apartment complex. Okay. If you want to see exactly where this is, take a look at this map. This is basically in between Englewood and Hyde Park. Okay. Not exactly what you call the safest part of town, but they're taking it over. And before anybody says, oh, 6124 King Drive, that's not, how do you know that's an apartment complex? Well, take a look at this picture. This is straight off of Zillow. 6124 King Drive. A 2-bedroom apartment. It runs about $124,000.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that building don't look like that no more. This got to be a 10-year-old picture at least.
This is a very black community. Okay. What are these violent Venezuelan gangs doing? They are displacing the black community because they can go in with guns and not be looked at cross-eyed. The apartment complexes they were taking over in Aurora were the black part of town. You start looking at this and go, okay, they're going into, I wouldn't necessarily say this is a poor side of town. $124,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment ain't exactly cheap, okay? But we're not talking about Beverly Hills either. We need to come together, black and white, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, and get rid of these people that are trying to take over our towns. They hit Aurora. Now they're hitting Chicago. It would not surprise me one bit if they're not in places in New York or in Boston or in San Francisco. Well, no, not San Francisco, because San Francisco, they just give them the houses. But any blue city. And again, they're primarily going to go after the cities because that's where their customers are. They're not necessarily going after the rich areas. They're going after the poor areas.
They're not going after the rich areas because the rich are the ones dropping them off and funding this shit. The rich meaning the federal government. Hold on, let me go see what's going on. Let's play the video.
The poor areas aren't as well defended. How long is it till they come out to your neck of the woods? I don't know. You live in Minneapolis. You live in Kansas City. You live in Austin, Texas. You live in Atlanta. Okay. Sure, these are all heavily blue Democrat cities with minority populations that they can go in, terrorize, and take over. We collectively, Americans, need to take back our country. The government's not doing it. They're asking for these people to come. They're saying, oh, gee, these people need housing too. We need to give them money, cars, food stamps, whatever, right? I mean, the story that's been making the news for months now, guy that works 40 years in his life collects his $1,200 Social Security check, but a guy that walks across the border says, hi, I'm here, they hand him $2,500. You get twice as much for not working and being illegal than you do for working your ass off, busting your back, losing your hearing, whatever, aches and pains, and you get half the money. Oh, and that's right, it's your own money you're getting back, just at an absolute crap return. Yeah, this is it. If we don't stand up, if we don't raise hell, and I'm not talking about going in guns a-blazing, okay? I'm talking about putting massive amounts of pressure on your city, your police department, your county, your sheriff, your governor, whatever. If we don't put massive pressure on them.
But Matt, you just showing this video and you ain't offering a solution. How about you comment your city down in the comments or whatever, and I'll look up your alderman, your city officials. I will look up the number to your mayor and your city councilman, and I can give you the number. You can call them. You can call them. And if they're displacing you and their policies are displacing you at any given point of their tenure, then you are allowed to sue them upon their resignation. I'll have all the information listed below.
To do something. This is what our future holds. Because
that's what Michelle Obama was talking about. Do something. She wasn't talking about for the Democrats. She wants you to start this war. She wants this to pop off. Them versus us. You ever play spades? Well, yeah, you ever play domino? Them versus us. It's a class war. Meaning the haves and the have-nots. And they're giving the have-nots everything, while you continue to lose everything. They're giving it to them so that you can get jealous and try to take their shit. The saw is getting on my nerves. I don't know how to mute myself right now, so let's continue. And it's a saw. They're cutting some steel over there. I work in a steel mill. I've always worked in steel mills. Except when I worked in fast food, then I can't do fast food. I hate dealing with customers. Some people are actually really fucking dumb, especially people that are still voting for Democrat, and especially if they're black, because you're fucking dumb. You're fucking retarded if you're still voting for Democrats. You're fucking dumb.
Rora's already proven, hey, you know what? The authorities don't care. We can do more. So they went into Denver. Now they're into Chicago. What happens when they're into Atlanta or Raleigh or Salt Lake City? They're coming. Don't get me wrong. We've let 20 million people into this country. Venezuela is saying, look, our crime rate's down. Sure, because all their criminals are now in the United States. We know our crime rate is way up. Of course, the Biden-Harris campaign, or now the Harris campaign, is saying crime's down. It's crime reporting is down. It's not crime is down. This is what's coming. This is what you need to be ready for. I told you a couple of weeks ago about a real good deal for protecting yourself. Some of you took advantage of it. Well, I did. This is what's coming. You're going to be outnumbered. You need to be collectively, your family, your friends, your neighbors, watching your area to make sure this doesn't happen. Because there's a very good possibility, depending on where you live, that these guys...
So I'm gonna let you know right now, me and my neighbors have already made a pact. We got a dude upstairs. We got a white dude upstairs that can get us weapons. We got an older black lady that just moved out. She says she's not even gonna risk it. Her heart is bad, and she got a granddaughter that she's taking care of, and her granddaddy is loose out there fucking whoever she wanna fuck around on, and she don't want to bring anybody into her house. She moved out yesterday. Right when I was getting home, I was laying down taking a nap, and I heard all that bumping and thumping and shit, and I heard the movers moving her stuff downstairs. Yeah, she's gone. So there's 3 of us in my building right now. And if something pop off, man, all of us is busting caps. I don't give a damn if you're an Amazon worker. We don't order shit. We have formed a pact together to protect what we have and protect what we have left. It's not our place to protect, but we are protecting our lives. That's all we have right now is each other.
They're going to show up at your house in the next week, the next month, the next year, because they're not happy just taking over one. Remember, they're not looking for a place for themselves to live. They're taking over an apartment complex. Sure, maybe they move into 4 or 5 of the apartments, but the other 100 or so apartments there, they want the rent from. This is what they're doing. They're basically telling people, you pay me now. And when the people say, no, I don't have a agreement with them, they're taken out of that apartment, either forcefully or in a body bag, okay, and replaced with somebody who will pay.
Not in Dallas. Not in Dallas. These police, look, listen to me, man. Dallas police will come and scoop your ass up like you was the sugar in the bottom of the damn bowl of cereal. They will come and pick your ass straight up like you was a package on the porch, man. They don't play out here in Texas, man.
Pity these guys. The war is coming to our soil. We have to be ready for it. Do you think the 1.9 million active duty military personnel in this country are going to be able to help the entire country? No. The cops, they've basically been given stand-down orders. The governors are afraid to call in the National Guard to do anything about this. And again, I go back to less than 10% of military personnel in combat arms. Sending a guy in who's a cook or a clerk or a mechanic or whatever, sure, he knows his way around an M16, but you're talking about going up against hardened criminal gangs. They're not exactly trained for that. Remember, your National Guardsmen are Joe Average, most of them at least, who go work a 9-to-5 job or something during the week, and then they train on the weekends. All right? These are not Special Forces, Delta, Navy SEALs that are running around. It's going to take a lot of people. There are going to be a lot of casualties, both collateral damage and people fighting against them. We need to be ready for this. We need to be watching for this very closely, because these guys just come in and go, hey, there's a nice place. It's not 2 weeks of planning and talking to the county and saying we want to do this. They just walk in and say, hi, we're here, pay me. When somebody walks up to your door and knocks on the door, hopefully by now most people know, do not answer the door unless you know who it is. Okay. because we've seen enough of these pretending to be Amazon drivers, UPS.
What did I say like 5 minutes ago? Don't give a damn, bro. Come with that shit. Not with a welding gun, a real gun.
Drivers, utility workers, they come in. These are, again, the Venezuelan gangs coming in and robbing, raping the people in the house, kidnapping. Don't open your door. If you see somebody on the door, and again, this depends on your state, remember you should know these, your stand your ground laws and your castle doctrine laws. Because if they're on your porch, depending on your state, that's considered part of your domicile.
Alright, so post edit, I'm going to put the stand your ground laws for the state that I have friends in. Post edit, I'm also going to put in the domicile castle laws or whatever. Post edit.
It's worth it for you to check what you can legally do in a situation like that. Because all of a sudden, if Carlos and Juan don't come back to the boss at the end of the day, and then a couple more don't come back later, maybe they move along. We're in a sad state
They didn't come back, right?
when
They on my doorstep.
we have to protect our homes like that. But it's been going on for a few years at this point. Chaz Chop, Portland, Minneapolis, Kenosha. Those weren't illegals. Those were just insane people. These guys are just as insane. Except they're a lot more dangerous.
Me too.
You need to be ready for that too. Because again, the cops ain't coming. The military ain't coming. Your son, your best friend, or whatever, is still minutes away. And you have seconds to react. You need to be able to defend yourself. Otherwise, you are just going to be another person in tomorrow morning's obituaries. Or
a homeowner in the Bronx started renting.
Man, I don't want this show to continue too much longer, but I was just talking to some of my people about this the other day. Get you some heat. Strap up. Don't be afraid to kill the motherfucker. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it in there.